Hey everyone, welcome back to the Three Strangers podcast. I'm your host Ryan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Bill.
And we all like to watch horror movies together. We're also joined by our audio engineer, Skippy Midnight. He's doing YouTube, music, all of that. He's fantastic. You should check him out. Thank you, of course, to Sam for producing our intro theme, and thank you to Nick for composing it. And we're here today to tell you about Be My Cat, a film for Anne. But we thought, this would be better if we could get a guest for this episode. Mm-hmm. So what better guest than to have the director, the main actor, the editor, everything for this movie. Please welcome Adrian Țofei.
Thank you so much. Cool.
I hope that was a good enough introduction to you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. It's
Awesome.
Man, we're so like we said beforehand, we're so happy to have you on the podcast and to talk about it because we had a recent podcast talking about found footage horror movies, and Be My Cat was one of the movies we were talking about. And we were saying how this movie had such an impact on us that we felt it deserved its own podcast by itself to discuss it and talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much. I'm happy you thought this way about Be My Cat, and I'm also curious to hear your questions and your curiosities and stuff like that about the film.
Yeah, we were blown away, absolutely. And we had we had kind of made sure we watched about 5 that we hadn't seen that we thought would be, big points in the found footage genre, and we came across your movie, and we were blown away about how, frankly, disturbing it was, but also so effective in what you were trying to create. Yeah, so real. We're really excited.
Wow, thank you. I'm glad.
It's really funny because I feel like all of us had the same reaction while watching this movie at different points because we didn't watch it at the same time. I was the first one who ended up watching it. And just during the movie, I would just be texting him like, oh my God, you don't know what's happening right now. And I got texting them and they were like, oh my God, what just happened?
Movie, yeah.
Oh, it was, but all in good, like all in great ways.
Yeah.
All of that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, just blown away. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right. The first thing that I definitely want to ask you, but also I need to say this because my mom has been telling me I have to say this. My mom's best friend is from Suceava, Romania.
Wow, Suceava is the county where I live. Like, I don't live directly in the city of Suceava, but this is the county where Be My Cat was shot, and temporarily right now we live here, me and my wife here. And we just came to visit my mom and stuff like that. But this is where I'm from, practically. It's where I shot Be My Cat. Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
That's such a small world. Who knew?
So you didn't know this when you mentioned your mom's friend. The mom of your friend being from Suceava. You didn't know that Be My Cat was shot in that region.
I didn't know it was shot in the county. We know that it was shot in. Oh, I don't know. Is it Redouty?
Redouty, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought you mentioned the Suceava thing intentionally, knowing that I'm close to it.
That's funny. That was like a separate thing entirely. That's funny.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask from that, what was it like growing up in Romania, and where did that first influence to horror cinema come from?
Well, the influence, I think, I grew up kind of right after the Romanian Revolution, and I grew up in the 90s. There was a lot of chaotic. There was a lot of chaos, in the country in that period. Lots of scarcity and stuff like that. But at the same time, cable TV just came around those times, because before we had only being a dictatorship, there was only one state TV. There was no lots of films, lots of, I mean, kind of, I was lucky to, if not lucky, maybe in a way lucky anyway. I grew up in that period where they started to show on TV like all types of old horror sci-fi movies from the 70s, from the 80s, you know, from past years, films that I don't think they could show in theaters back in the days during communist times. So at the moment they started to put cable TV in the 90s, I mean 1994, we had it first in our home, or 95. They started to show, you know, like all the movies that the classicals, you know, and I remember I think being very much impressed as a child by Carrie, by a scene in Carrie. Yes, and I could relate with that so much because I was also dealing with bullying and stuff like that, like depicted in the movie. So so where did it come in Romania, the passion for horror films? Where from America, where else could it come? So I think I don't know, I grew up with with these types of movies, or should I say so, you know, this I grew up so much with this Hollywood horror thriller films, stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. So you were
and because they to show these films on TV, they didn't have yet this censorship like that they have it today. Like, I don't know, today, for example, you have like, if it's a movie that is not allowed for below a certain age or whatever, they don't show it at early hours. They show them very, very late into the night. But when I grew up, because these bodies, these institutions were not very well regulated, so they would show even horror films and like things like Carrie, because I don't think my mom would have let me at such an early age to watch something late in the night. I'm sure they were showing them they were showing these things at regular hours, you know, and probably as a child I was like, oh my god.
Wow.
So I think definitely the American horror films definitely were a big influence on me as a child, and later I was hugely impressed by Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's when for the first time I kind of started to understand that there is art, that film is an art form, you know, and how many things you can do, how far you can go with this environment. So then I studied acting. I did all this stuff. So during my studies, I studied only acting. I didn't study filmmaking. But then at the end of masters, at the end of college, I started to rediscover, you know, my passion for film and to connect it with what I've learned about acting, you know. So that's when I made the connection between the improvisational way and was working as an actor. And I made a connection with the way these guys did the Blair Witch Project, you know, how they work with the actors and all this freedom they had, all this creative freedom, you know, and the found footage concept. So I made this connection. So I thought, wow, like, so that's when I started to make films. So there are multiple, various influences throughout my life. It's
So what motivated you? So we saw that you went to college, and you in your graduate studies you had this one-man show, and then like you said, the Blair Witch Project came up and really, you know, had an impact. What motivated you to create Be My Cat, a film for Anne, from those moments? Or was it them, or was it something more?
So Be My Cat, the film for what motivated me. Yeah, so first I had that one-man show, which was about a guy who had some problems, some kind of a psychopath, and he had some issues with a cat, something like that, So after playing for a couple of years this one-man show, I decided to make it into a movie when I rediscovered my passion for film that I had as a teenager before studying theater and all that. I rediscovered that passion, so I realized, like, wow, like the thing that I do in theater, like being able to transform an audience, to make them go through all types of emotions and stuff like that. So instead of just having that, being able to talk to just a couple of people in a small venue, much better to make a film, and this way I can reach the entire planet, with whatever I want to say, with my creation, my art, or I don't know. So and I chose to make it found footage because the method that I was working as an actor was based a lot of on improvisation, like I never liked working with a very well defined script, where you know what's going to happen, because if you know what's going to happen, then even if you're a genius actor, I mean, you still have to pretend, it won't be a fully natural process, you can't be 100% real, but when you don't know, even as an actor, what's going to happen, and you just fully go with the improv, then a lot of things that happen will surprise you for real, on the process, and you really get that authentic performance that is needed in a found footage film, because you cannot feel that you have to deal with acting. So I made kind of this, I combined this type of acting that I was taught in school. I combined it with what I've learned, how they work with the actors, in the Blair Witch Project, because they set only the circumstances. Because also I had an acting teacher, again, that he was talking about these theater shows, and he was always sought to make these very super realistic theater shows, and he said that practically his method was for the audiences to fully empathize with what they see on the stage, and for them to fully empathize, there mustn't be any element whatsoever to remind them that this is just a show. Like what they see needs to look exactly like real life. And only when it will look 100% like a real life, only then they will fully empathize with. It will be transformed and stuff like that. And then after studying this, and this method of acting and directing, I remembered, just a second, like these guys, what this guy is talking in Romania here in theater, these guys did it in film, back in the days with the Blair Witch Project, because they did the same thing. I mean, that's the essence of found footage, the idea that it has to look real, you can't have elements in it that look made up or just made for a movie. So I wrote the found footage manifesto. I put all this theory together. I watched a lot of found footage films. I tried to make a very clear, to set very clear rules, for my method, for how I was about to shoot the film. So it had to be living in character. We couldn't have any team. So it had to be just me and the actresses, because otherwise it wouldn't be realistic. It would take away from the practically, I wanted to create this world that you see in the movie. I wanted to actually create it in reality. It's like to create a certain type of parallel reality to ours, which is based on fictional elements, but works just like our reality, So that's why I kind of lived in character for about a year, and then
Right.
During that time, I kept in touch with the actresses via email, and I tried to create psychologically all the circumstances that just to make sure that when we start shooting, all the circumstances are there. So all we have to do is to just start shooting and living character and follow our goals, and literally the film will be discovered during that process. The movie was made, I would say, a lot was made in advance. I mean, before shooting, the preparations are essential for me in found footage and in improvisational filmmaking.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to direct to say, oh, this is how it will happen, you need to go there, you need to do that. I don't like to direct movies this way. I like to set the circumstances months in advance for all the characters, for all the action, for everything that has to happen. I'm just setting the circumstances for the improvisation to go in the right direction. So that's a lot of psychological work.
Yeah.
So once you have all those things set, when you start rolling, practically film, although it will be improvised, you don't know exactly what is going to happen, but at the same time you have the assurance that it will go in the direction you intended to go, without knowing that direction for sure, but you know it will go in the direction you kind of intended to go because you know the circumstances that you set kind of months in advance. So there is it's like this combination of control and freedom, you know. It's a controlled improvisation. Like you don't know exactly where you are going to reach with it, but you know that you are going to reach in a good place that you wanted for your film.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's so amazing, and you know, the three of us, Ryan, Bill, and I, we've all studied acting in some kind of form or the other. Either music and theater, music or theater. You know, Ryan's got a degree in music. Bill and I both studied theater in college as well. And I think just to hear that you hear the actual implementation of creating your circumstances for yourself and getting in that mindset, you know, it just I can speak for all of us when I say it's so interesting to hear the, you know, that aspect of preparation that goes into a film that was mostly, if not all, improvisation, and it's such a lot of people don't think that much preparation goes into it.
That's the thing. With found footage, here's the thing. Like, the goal is to make the directing invisible, you know. And actually, when you make found footage when you look at a found footage film and it just feels like it is not directed, that things are really happening, you know, that's when they went through the most, like, that means practically in order to reach that thing, you need, in my opinion, to do more work than you do for traditional filmmaking. Because like, in real life, you have tons of circumstances, like put the circumstances that brought us here and made us behave the way we behave and the way we talk. Like I don't know, I had to, go through certain life experiences in this life and study certain things and experiment certain things and go through some failures, go through some traumas and so on and so on. You had to go through so many things in life in order to be here this moment and behave and talk the way you talk and have the questions you have, you know, and all that. So practically all these things kind of decide what's happening now. The moment, the discussion between us, kind of the same understanding I have about filmmaking. Instead of coming you and telling you, hey, you need to move your head this way when you talk, or you need to be dressed this way and to talk this way. I don't do that because that would sound fake, you know. Instead, I'm coming and telling you as an actor, look, you went through this life experiences. You went through this, you went through that. Let's see how do we do in real life? How do we experience some of those things? How do we set all the circumstances so that when we start recording, the discussion will go and the happenings will go in the in a good direction.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a few questions about quite a few questions about the filming the movie itself, and you were talking about all this improv, and we know that you recorded 26 hours of film.
Yeah.
Was there ever and then you had to narrow it down, which I'm sure was excruciating. Was there ever a scene that the improv just kind of got maybe too intense and you thought, you had to draw back or stop it there?
No, because we had a language switch, Romanian to English. So that because like, I'm a director. These are actresses. My character meets them for the first time with the camera. I am meeting the actresses for the first time with the camera. When I first met the actresses, I met them in character.
Oh wow! So that was all in character.
There's the psychopathic director that I'm playing, giving. Okay, I think there's a glitch here a little bit with connection.
Okay.
Do you hear me?
You are coming in fine. Yep.
Yeah.
We're still here.
Okay. So, there's the psychopathic director giving instructions to the actresses played by the real actresses, and there's me as a director giving instructions to the actresses. But I look and behave like, of course, do not behave, but in order to avoid any confusions between me giving instructions to the real actresses and me as the psycho director giving instructions to the actresses played by the real actors, in order to avoid any confusion, since both scenes were shot with the same camera, us being dressed the same, so in order for us to not get crazy, I created this language switch. So I said, whenever we speak English, it means that we are in character. It means that I'm the psycho and you are the fictional actress. And whenever we make the switch to Romanian, that means we are out of character and it's just me talking to you.
Gotcha.
So although we didn't necessarily end up using so much this thing, but I think this gave us a more psychological security. Like otherwise you might be afraid to jump into the improv because it's like it goes too far and you don't know how to stop it.
Right.
This way you are not afraid to do that because you have a safe word. The moment you start speaking Romanian, you can interrupt everything in case it goes to a point that you are uncomfortable with. So because of that, nothing went out of hand.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the first actress, Sonia, there's a scene where she says she's going to call the police, and then a police car shows up. Now, our question was, did that happen by chance or by accident or something, and it became part of the film?
So I told the actress in that scene, okay, so I told her to respect the indications that my character will give to her character during improvisation. Kind of that were my instructions to her. And I told her, you really need to do for real and to really respect the indications that my character will give to your character. You do it for real, not just act it, And then when we started improvising in character, I said to her, you need to reject me. Okay, this is so complicated here because in character I was playing another character. So I am telling just me, Adrian. I'm telling to the actors, hey, you need to respect the indications that my character, the director, will give to your character, the actress. Okay. And then when I was in the character playing the director, I said to her again, hey, you need to reject me when we shoot the film within film that my character was pretending to be shooting.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So I told her, you need to reject me. Okay. So then during improvisation, she came up with this thing to calling police for real in impro.
Oh.
So that was her calling like 112, the equivalent of 911 in.
Okay. Yeah.
In the US. So that was her calling police for real. So,
wow.
But it scared me a bit because we had a little budget. We didn't have a budget to pay the fines for the case,
Yeah.
So
scared me a little bit, but not fully. It didn't fully freak me out or anything. Like I went with it.
Yeah.
Because nobody shifted to Romanian yet. We were still like the fact that she was so real and threatening to call the police. She was so real, as if the actress herself would feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But why I knew that it's not the actress feeling uncomfortable, but the actress she was playing was feeling uncomfortable because she was still speaking English. She was not switching to Romanian. So I said, exactly, as I said, that really helped us to go to such lengths and to at the same time, although things were similar to reality, we knew that it's not reality because we had that language indicator.
I definitely want to ask.
Go ahead,
sorry, Nick. Well, I definitely want to ask, and this is, we'll just do a spoiler warning for for the movie, just in case you didn't think.
Listening.
We all recommend it. Of course, Adrian's going to recommend it too. But what I want to ask is, was there ever a moment when you were filming and it was one of those like questionable, like if someone saw it, they'd be like, oh my God. Was there ever a moment where there were like just normal people just walking by and happened to see a scene, like when you were chloroforming the girl, or like one of those moments?
Not really, because as you could see, I shot the film in kind of a more like the outskirts of the city. There were very few people on the streets, only some cars. So that didn't really happen. We had some problems with some drunk people there at a bar nearby when I was shooting with Sonia, and I even put it in the film, like me saying like, oh, there are some drunk people talking and blah blah blah. I was telling Anne that thing, like, Anne, don't worry, it's just
It's just the drunk. So they're just drunk people. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a problem with one of them who was kind of like catcalling the actress, while we were improvising, and she at some point I tried to ignore it because he was drunk. So it was so complicated because he was drunk. At the same time, I didn't know, like, that was such a weird event. I was in character. There was a quite intense scene, and the guy comes and does that thing, and then you don't know what the fuck you should do because just a second, in character, I wouldn't go and necessarily protect the girl because we were still improvising.
Right.
But at the same time, maybe you should go out of character and just push the guy away or do something. So I was like caught in between, very, very weird moment, because you don't know, like, should I go and but anyway, the guy, we had to stop filming because he was becoming annoying and stuff, then stuff like that, and then we had to talk to some people around, to the owner of that place, to talk to that guy and stuff like that in order to not have problems with him anymore. So that was the only incident, like this type of bully, harassing us. That was the only thing.
Right.
So then the people in the basement when you're with Flory, were those actors?
That's my question. Yeah.
Well, like they are. He is the son of the guy that rented me the pension. Then person older was his father. Yeah. they are the guys who own the pension where I shot the film. So of course I told them to come.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me think. Do I have interactions with like actual people that I kept in the film? No, I did not. I do not have that because I would. I don't know. Maybe if I did this today, maybe I would be. Maybe I would have. I was afraid, to not be sued and stuff like that, or people. Let's say I have a good scene or something that the story depends on, and then I need to use that person's image in the movie. And what if I cannot find the person? What if they don't agree? Or I don't know. I just didn't want to include actually people who are not in the movie. So everything is kind of, as I said, like I tried to make it as real as possible without it being real.
Yes, yeah, and you achieved it.
Yeah.
You really did.
Well, yeah, I'm glad. But I'm glad that you guys really thought that those people in the basement might be real people.
Yeah.
I'm glad. but some people really, for example, I can tell you from my city, not while shooting the movie, but recently I came and I talked. Who did I talk to? Oh yeah, I talked with a kind of a friend, and he said that like, hey, like, did you know that back in the days when you did the film, like, I talked recently with him, like last year, and did you know, like, like when you did the film, like in 2016 or something, like literally, the kids in my high school, they were talking like, oh my God, did you know about that director? Like he really kidnapped some actresses. He did things to them, and and this was not a joke. Like I was like shocked. I was shocked to learn this. Like literally 1 year or two after making the film, some people in my city really thought that I did some horrible things for real. Yeah, it was such a weird feeling to learn this.
So it is kind of like a Blair Witch or something like that, where they actually thought that the actresses and the actors.
Yeah. And, initially I had even bigger plans. By the way,
really.
I mean, bigger plans in terms of promoting it, like making it more. Right. I was thinking to just release on YouTube some random scenes for the film and to create an account of mine, let's say on social media, stuff like that, in which I behave like my character and stuff like that. Thinking that to create this viral movement of the internet of a guy who is really obsessed with Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway, yeah.
And then I renounced this thing because I was afraid that if I make it too real, I was afraid that even people in the film industry will really think that I'm totally demented, and people will literally not select the movie to festivals and stuff like that, thinking that this is really the work of a psycho, a real one. Yeah. So I thought I will endanger my film career by making things too realistic, and at the same time, there's another thing that I believe in. I believe there is more. I don't believe in this farce, in the idea of totally tricking the audience like selling them a found footage film and really tricking the people that what they see it's real. Like a lie,
Yeah.
So I think it's more valuable when they go to a found footage film. They know it's not real, and they know it's not a documentary. So it's not real, yet there's still the power and the realism of the film still manages to totally take you in. You know? Because it manages to forget that what you see. That it makes you forget that you thought it's not real, It makes you forget the power of the film. So I think it's more valuable to do it this way than to actually lie to the audience and say, look, this is real. So, okay, I understand that this worked for the Blair Witch Project, because those were the early days. But this also brought a lot of backlash later against the film, because a lot of the people felt betrayed, because they actually went to the theater thinking they're going to watch a documentary, so they felt betrayed and lied to later.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, I remember we've talked about how when it came to the Blair Witch Project, you could never do that again. What they pulled, it couldn't happen again because of the backlash and because of the breaking of that illusion.
I'm not so sure. I think you can do it in. I think you can still launch today things that are not real and claim they are real, but depending in what domain. Like there was a thing, like, I don't know. I asked in a found footage group, and I asked what type of genres, what type of films, what type of film concepts do you think they are? They are the most realistic types of films next to found footage and mockumentary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and somebody responded, or was that the question or something else? Oh, something like that. And somebody responded, mainstream news.
Mainstream
because and then I'm also a very politically active person in social media and stuff like that, and the person who said this was joking, but then I thought, oh my god, like imagine when they lie in mainstream news. I don't know, things like, I don't know, Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. Okay, let's take the most classical lie, Right. When they lie in a video program like that, and everybody believes it, isn't that the most efficient found footage ever? Because
wow, yeah, you just convinced a whole nation.
Yeah, you want to
exactly.
Yeah.
So there are lots of entities that create very, very believable found footage. You just don't realize that's found footage.
So do you think you'll ever make a movie kind of like that?
Never that intense. Yeah.
No, because I said I don't think it's ethical towards audiences. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't think it's ethical to do something that looks. If you do something that is 100% realistic, and then if you tell the people that thing is real, then I don't see the art in that. I don't know. I feel like you're just literally manipulating people, like to take something like I'm still feel like I want to be a filmmaker. I feel like in the art of, I think I'm in the business of making art. I can say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so because of that, I want people to know that this is going to be a fictional thing. It's not like and after they watch the movie, to come and ask me, and that's the coolest part. Like, people go, they know it's fictional, and they watch it, and they approach me and they say, "Oh my God, I'm afraid of you," or are you sure you are not like the guy in the movie, or stuff like that, like, and I feel that's the power of acting and cinema, to tell the people it's not real, yet the person, because of the way it is impacted, it is affected by the movie. It feels the audience feels like contradicting you. Are you sure it's not real?
Yeah.
So that's better. That's better than me telling them, "Oh, it's real," and them later coming and saying like, actually, it's not real. Look, the blood doesn't look real, or something.
Yeah. And you talk about it being real. So one of our questions was, do you think the aspect of Anne Hathaway, it being the Anne Hathaway, and it being a real life actress, do you think it was more effective because it was a real actress? And then, if so, if you shot the movie again, would you choose a different actress, or would you choose someone fictional and think it would be the same amount of effective?
No, It had to be a real actors, because the one-man show that I did that inspired me to make the film. So the film was not inspired necessarily by the story of the one-man show, but my character in the film was inspired a lot from the psychology of my character in the one-man show.
Okay.
So in the one-man show, I used the name on stage. I was talking about a real Romanian actress, you know, and that even caused a little bit of a scandal, because people even in the acting community and stuff like that, because people misunderstood, and some thought I really have an obsession with that actress, in reality, stuff like that. And so but then I thought, you know, because that's the thing, I still want to blur this line between fiction and reality. Like, of course, I tell people that this is a work of fiction, but then I try to, in that work of fiction, to blur the lines as much as possible, and to make people question reality of everything, if possible. So the thing with Anne Hathaway is because I used for more realism, you know, and then I used the name of a real Romanian actress, and then, okay, how can I bring this at a global level? So I thought, okay, it has to be an actress that is known by everybody worldwide, obviously, so that if everybody will kind of empathize with the story and will understand what I'm talking about. And second, it had to be an actress that has something to do with cats, because again, in the one-man show that I was playing, the guy has some obsession with cats and stuff like that. So I wanted an actress that has something to do with cats.
Okay.
And the third criteria was that it had to be an actress that I also appreciate personally, so that I can take my appreciation, my professional appreciation, you know, for her acting, you know, for how good she is as an actress. But I can take this and psychologically transform it into an obsession for my character, you know, because I also feel I'm an actor that I feel like acting should start from a point of from a place of reality. You know, you can alter a little bit, but you start from something that's real. That's how you can make it. You can play with it as much as possible without sounding totally fake. You know, so that's why in order to be believable in my obsession, I needed an actress that actually impressed me personally. So then it happened for me to watch Les Miserables with Anne Hathaway, and I was so much impressed to tears by that movie and by her performance. And then I watched The Dark Knight Rises, and it's like, just a second, look, she has something to do with cats. I'm super impressed with her acting. Everybody knows Anne Hathaway. So it's perfect.
So it was this big moment for you. It was like, there it is.
The thing is that I don't remember the actual moment when I did that thing. It must have been, I don't really remember it, but I know the process. I don't remember the actual moment.
I do want to ask, did you ever get an email from the legal team from Anne that was like, hey, what are you doing over there?
I did not get an email from the legal team. I sent an email to the legal team.
So you don't know. Good.
At some point, initially, I didn't keep in the movie any mention of Anne Hathaway's full name. Only Anne. I didn't want to have any legal problems. But at some point, when I was doing one more edit or something, I thought, what about just keeping it once? You know, like a little, I don't know, like a little. How do they call those surprises in fictional works and stuff, like an egg, Easter egg or something like that?
Like a little Easter egg,
like an Easter egg, and when he's in the basement, there's one single moment when he pronounces Anne Hathaway, the full name, not just Anne.
Yes, right.
Before doing that, I emailed her producer and everybody, and I asked if they would be okay with me using the real name. But this was actually only one of the reasons of me contacting them. At the same time, it was a at the same time it was I cannot find the word in English. It was it was an opportunity for me to let them know that this movie exists, without looking like a creep, So I went the other way around.
Okay, yeah. It was just letting you know it's gonna be out there.
Yeah, smart.
So does Anne Hathaway want to be in a future movie with you, or is that on the table now?
There is a very interesting story here, but it's a long one. I'm going to try to keep it short.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get any answer from none of Anne Hathaway's team. Nothing happened. But later, something happened. I'm going to keep it. It has a very dramatic part to this thing, but I'm going to keep the drama short right now.
Okay.
I don't want to get sad. So there's this producer that contacted us, me and my wife. So for 2 years, we kind of worked on a project for this guy. So he even came to Romania. He I did an audition for a project that we were supposed to make with this guy, and he paid us in advance to write a feature film script and all that.
Okay.
And he was, and he said that he learned about my film from Anne Hathaway's manager, because he was doing a film. Yeah, he was doing a film with this Hollywood company that was managed by Anne Hathaway's manager. So at some point they needed a director because he was about to shoot some scenes in Romania and Bulgaria and stuff like that. So we signed contracts and all this and all that. And then after 2 years, because he was supposed to pay us more for the script and stuff like that, and we were supposed to start production. And the guy, all of a sudden, he was no longer responding to emails and stuff like that. So I called. So I called the actual studio, in LA.
Okay.
So the office of Susan Bimmel, the Anne Hathaway's manager. I called the office and they never heard of that guy, and that guy was not real. That guy was a huge fraudster, literally. And then we found pictures, even him on the internet, going to multiple festivals around the world, and even to Cannes he went, and to a festival in Brazil. There is literally news of him in Brazil. Oh, big Hollywood producer that worked with Anne Hathaway is going to shoot a movie in Brazil. And all these things, this is it's like we've been the victims of this international crazy scammer. And even these guys, they were not aware that he was doing this. He sent us fake emails, the fake signature of Anne Hathaway's manager.
Oh my gosh!
He communicated with us as if he was Anne Hathaway's manager and stuff like that.
Wow.
And at some point, he did an audition in Romania. He selected some actresses for this project that we were supposed to be making.
Mm-hmm.
And one actress which he did not select, he hired her to be like his personal assistant. And he traveled to Cannes with her, and with fake badges, as if he's working with this Hollywood company and all that. He attended the Cannes Film Festival. Of course, at that point, we thought that everything is legitimate, everything is real.
Yeah.
And there was some point when they were at the table in Cannes, this actress told me, whom he hired for this, to be his assistant. Mm-hmm. And she told me at some point when they were at the table talking, his phone rang with Anne Hathaway's name on the screen, as if Anne Hathaway is calling him. And he looked at the phone and didn't answer the first time. Let the phone ring,
What?
It's unbelievable. And only later he said, he excused himself and took the phone and left and talked, you can imagine the extent this guy went. Literally he made somebody call with that thing in order to make the people on the table believe that he's so important that he's actually being called by Anne Hathaway.
Wow.
And not even responding at the first time, to show that he's...
Oh, it's just Anne.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, so
that guy's.
Wow.
I have a longer story about this because I tried to expose this guy because nobody exposed him so far. So I wrote an article on my website, International Con Artist Andrea Corbella. It's his name, So and then other people also contacted me like, oh, is this real? Because this guy proposed me this project in blah blah blah. I'm like, no, run.
Yeah.
As much as
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So wow.
So literally, we were scammed like this. It's such a weird way, weird Anne Hathaway connection, because when he lied to me and he said that Anne Hathaway's manager and blah 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 learned about me, then I made the connection with me sending the emails to Anne Hathaway's management team and letting them know about Be My Cat. So it made sense in my mind. So of course it's true. I sent those emails. That's why they learned about me.
Yeah.
So I think this guy was so lucky. Literally, he got me with this thing. I think he got lucky, literally.
Yeah.
Because his life coincided with me actually contacting the management before.
Wow.
Wow.
That is a crazy.
That's a crazy story.
That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Like kind of the way my character is tricking these actresses in the movie. We got tricked in real life into working on a fictional.
Oh my gosh. And suddenly your movie is even more like meta and real than you had even intended in the first place.
Are you talking about Be My Cat?
Yeah. Suddenly, what you're in the movie you're tricked.
This was after I made My Cat.
Right. But it was interesting because it's almost like because of the movie, all this happened, and the connections were made.
Exactly. It's so weird. It's so weird and scary at the same time. Like literally making this film, I attracted in my life somebody to do to me something similar to what my character in the movie does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
wow.
That's the good part. The bad part is that it almost ruined our lives literally, because 2 years constantly waiting to be paid and working on this project and that and finishing all our money and all our resources, and all of a sudden we realize we have no more money to pay the rent, we have no future, everything we worked on, I postponed my own indie project because of this thing. So this was so hard for us, for such a shock.
Yeah,
at least everyone knows not to associate with him anymore. That's the good part.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just saying. At least that article that you posted, they know that he's a scammer.
Yeah.
Whoever, at least I could expose him. At least these things won't happen to other people. Hopefully, they will Google him, then they will learn these things.
Yeah.
So this is actually a good chance then to ask about your projects that you're working on now.
Yeah, the project that I'm working on now. This is a project that I started in 2016.
Okay.
Called "We Put the World to Sleep."
Yeah.
So it is about it's about two lovers that make a movie about ending the world, and while making that movie, they also act in their own movie. While acting those characters, they get lost in those characters and decide to end the world for real while shooting the film. Yeah, and then they decide to use the budget of the movie to end the world instead of making the movie about ending the world. And also to continue pretend to make a movie, so that if authorities, by the way, what I'm saying are not spoilers. This is kind of
okay.
This will be the trailer. Just kind of the premise of the film, because the film goes in all kinds of crazy directions. So kind of this is it. This is the concept, people getting lost in their roles and wanting to end the world for real. But then, as I said, the movie, I don't know, I took so many risks with this film, so many professional risks and creative risks.
Okay.
We will see what will happen with it, and we need to shoot more scenes now. We shot some scenes, and I was about to edit the film just before the pandemic started, but then the pandemic started, and also my inspiration was not there in the right place. At the same time, lots of festivals closing. At the same time, we've been scammed by this guy, and we had to recover emotionally. So it was a hard period now, and now we realized that I think we need to shoot more scenes for that film. So that one will be, I don't know. I might go a little bit too far with the meta and film within film structure with that one. Like, I mean, if in Be My Cat, lots of people were curious, like, oh, is this real? Or how much is real and how much is fiction in the film and stuff like that. Like, we Put the World to Sleep, I want to make it even more, I want to blur more the lines between reality and fiction. I want even people in the film industry with let's say with a lot of experience to question to not be sure, you know. I don't want them to be sure of some scenes, like, are they real or are they not real, you know. I don't know. Let's see if I will manage this and what will happen with this film.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for it. That was a really good introduction to it.
Cool. Yeah. Especially now, I think it's so interesting. You started making this movie, and then a worldwide pandemic happened, and suddenly, you know, the world seemed more scary, and I think your film, it sounds like it could be really powerful because coming out of 2020.
Yeah, we did it, guys. That's why the pandemic started. Actually, we did it while
power to feeling reality
during improvisations. In our times in India, we just played with some bacteria there in the lab.
It was the energy.
Sorry, oh my god, in India. Why I said India? I wanted to say China. Oh my god.
Oh, China.
I'm becoming like Trump right now. Like, you know, he was so much saying about.
Now all the world will learn it's not China, it's India actually.
Yeah.
They're gonna learn this.
What? They're going to learn?
They're going to learn that it was not China but India in the first place.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, because you know in India cows are holy, and what we tricked a person in India, remember, to eat a cow.
Baby, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Baby, oh my god.
I don't know. Like, my wife is making a joke about this, but I'm not getting it. I don't know what's wrong.
Oh no, is this in character? Are we in the movie?
Okay. Oh yeah. I have also a weird vibe today. Like, I did something a little bit crazy. Yeah, like I was reading these things. No, I don't want to tell you guys this thing. No.
All right.
Sorry. I was about to say something, but no. It's better to not say it.
Okay.
That's okay.
All right.
It's all
right. We're getting close to the end here, but I have this one question that I'm so curious to ask. It's about the ending to Be My Cat, a film for Anne. In your perspective, how does the film end? Like, what happens after the camera shuts off?
Well, there are multiple answers to this. Like, I think one of the answers would be to watch my next movie, We Put the World to Sleep.
Oh.
There will be some connections to Be My Cat. There is it's going to be a kind of a trilogy that I'm planning, and We Put the World to Sleep going to be a kind of a half sequel to Be My Cat. But I cannot say the connection to that in what way it connects. It has some common characters, common universes inside, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have a clue of what's happening if you watch my next movie.
Well, all right.
Good play.
And at the same time, but if you think about Be My Cat separately, you know, without a second movie, just Be My Cat. I'm not so sure what happens. I don't really know what happens. The thing is that I mean, he obviously realized that, like, she made him realize that it's not necessary to record anymore. You know, there's no need. Like, she made him. He thought that he wants to make a movie with Anne Hathaway, and The Last Girl. No, it's a spoiler, by the way, for whoever is watching.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's spoiler alert.
So as you know, The Last Girl is convincing him that. Not convincing him. It's helping him become aware that what he really wants is to be with Anne Hathaway, and that he doesn't want to be a filmmaker. She makes him aware that all he wants is to be like romantically involved with Anne Hathaway, and that he's using the film just as a way to reach her. So he becomes aware of this, and then he realizes that there's no reason to shoot anymore, which I thought it's a good reason. It's a good way to end the film, because, like, okay, we know very well that this guy is obsessed with making a film with Anne Hathaway, so why would he stop filming ever, you know, until he reaches his goal? And at the same time, I knew that if he continues to shoot, he wouldn't be stopped. I would have to go, I don't know, him trying to, when he sees that he doesn't get email from Anne, he would have to go after her, you know, he would have to go to LA and stuff like that, or something. And I was thinking about this, you know, that would be so cool if I can make this type of thing of just, I don't know, this crazy psycho going and like causing havoc around the US, you know, in major cities, or doing something really crazy, you know, and killing people all around. But I knew I don't have the budget for something like that, you know. Right. So I had to end it somewhere. So how do you end it other than him realizing that there's no need to record anymore, you know? And at the same time, yeah, it gives this paradoxical and also ambiguous ending. Yeah. So if he realized that, I think that, I don't know, maybe he just went after Anne. Like, but I don't know what happens after that. I would say that probably he went after Anne, but did he succeed or not? I don't know.
Yeah.
We gotta watch the next movie to find out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I cannot tell you. I cannot spoil it for you. So.
Oh yeah, of course. Okay. We don't want to spoil either. We want to.
Yeah. We look forward to it then. We really look forward to watching it.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully, I'm gonna be able to finish editing it very soon and all that.
Yeah. So a last question I usually ask all of our guests on the podcast is, what's a goal that you have for yourself?
A goal that I have for myself.
Good question. Yeah.
Good.
There you go. Right.
There, I stumped them, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
A good goal. I just want, I just want to work on. I want to work on a studio movie. You know, I want the stress. I don't want the stress anymore of doing everything by myself.
Right.
Like, I don't know, like doing both production and casting and editing and the cinematography and like literally everything, from management, from writing the contract, from promoting the film, from posting and this and this and this, and like I'm getting crazy. Like too much to do as an indie filmmaker, but I really need to do everything by myself. I want to work on a studio film. That's my biggest dream right now. Like to just be paid a decent amount of money for a decently budgeted film where I have a team, when I just have to do is only direct or only act. You know, not lots of crazy stuff. You know, that would be my dream right now.
Well, my dream and goal. Supporting you. We're definitely supporting you.
Yeah, all the way.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So, Adrian, do you have anything that you would like to plug? You know, Twitter, YouTube, your movies, anything like that?
Anything that I would like to add?
I kind of advertise for yourself when you put out there.
Yeah. Well, what should I advertise? What? Advertise. Well, I don't know. Follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram, and whatever. Like my new post. Yeah, I have a short film as well. It's a it's a transploitation. I called it transploitation, and it's not called transploitation. I put on the poster. It's called Source of Evil, and then it says transploitation film.
Oh.
But it will go in lots of I mean, it's like it's not like just transploitation. It's just a part of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
It goes really crazy in a very crazy direction. This short film. So I'm planning to do this short film right now, and I can also give like some info, which is kind of I'm exclusively for you guys because it just came up. So
nice.
yeah, so I'm gonna do this short, and then I might kind of not like I might. I mean, for sure, I will. But if I do, I can do this exclusive. But no, you know what, guys? I'm so sorry. I'm afraid if I give this detail, although it would be exclusive and all that, I'm afraid I will spoil. Something about the movie.
Okay.
That's
So
it's
it's a
okay. Don't
minor
worry.
spoiler, but it's okay. Yeah. I'm a bit scared that I might be doing a mistake. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We are excited to see
Anyway.
what comes out.
So So the only thing that I can say is it's just that the things related to making the short and the actual short will also be included in We Put the World to Sleep. Kind of in the feature. Yeah. So. Yeah, hopefully you will be totally confused when we watch We Put the World to Sleep. Like hopefully you will not know who was it that you talked to right now. Was it a character or was it just me? Like if I make people totally confused to that level, then it's good.
Well, I will say if we're all completely confused, we're definitely going to ask you back on the podcast so you can explain it to us.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been such a pleasure to have you. It really has been.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much as well, and it was a pleasure talking. Sorry if I was a bit tired. I didn't sleep last night. And I got dragged with some work and stuff like that. Right now I'm a little bit like.
That's okay. We'll let you sleep now.
Yeah, no worries. We'll let you sleep.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. It was a pleasure talking about some of this stuff, and yeah, let's see what happens. I like this thing, you know why I like this thing, like blurring the lines between reality and fiction and stuff like that. Because I like to make people question reality. I like to a little bit push people to question everything, to not take things for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know, because everybody has the feeling that they know something, that they know the truth both about the world and about who they are, and I want to shake these beliefs, to make you question both yourself and the reality around you, because most of the times when you think you know who you really are, when you have this certitude, you are kind of far away from the truth, and it doesn't allow you to really seek deeper, both within yourself and within others. So I like to force in a way, with these types of things, the humankind to kind of question itself and its own reality, and this way to become a better world and stuff like that. So I think I have this type of principle why I do this type of films. Yeah.
And you definitely have done this with Be My Cat, a film for Anne. We totally recommend it. prepare to watch something pretty hard to watch, but I think so necessary of the horror genre.
But, is it? Did you find it hard to watch? Like, in what way?
I think it's that. I think what makes it hard is you question the reality. And experiencing that phenomenon from any movie makes it like. I think there's a little bit of a challenging aspect to that, but not in the sense of don't watch it. It's just an experience that you should have, that you need to have, and your reality should be questioned.
Okay. No. It's okay. I'm glad you think this way. But also, I was curious. Like, do you think it's like what makes it hard to watch? Do you think it's like the psychological violence, the physical violence in the film, or like what is it exactly makes it hard to watch? I'm just curious what you felt about it.
Yeah, I know for me personally, I think it was just. You don't know when he's acting and when he's not acting, and it makes it. That was my thing, and it got so real that it almost like felt like at times you were watching like like a film where somebody's actually going around like hurting people.
So
that was my.
So it made you wonder a little bit if some things are real or how much is real and how much is improvised or how much is.
I think you accomplished your I think you accomplished.
I'm happy.
That. Yeah,
I'm happy if that thing really worked. Yeah,
it did.
Yeah. Well, like then I'm on a good path with Put the World.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you 100% are.
You have this. You have talent for it.
Well,
yeah.
Let's see.
And sleeping. Yeah.
I took. You know why I'm afraid with We Put the World to Sleep? I took more risks than with Be My Cat in terms of structure and concept. Like with Be My Cat, I started having a concept and having some plot points and filling during improvisation, filling the void between those plot points. But I started We Put the World to Sleep with even more loose matter. I had even less plot points. Or very loose plot points. So practically while going along with the movie, we were also discovering and inventing the plot as well as we were going along with the improvisation. And I don't know, I found these things to be very risky because at some point during improv, there were some things we realized we ended up in a point where like we realized, but we can't go on from this moment on. Like we realized we reached a point where we couldn't do it anymore. It was not doable from that moment on.
Yeah.
And then you think, what the hell you do? What the hell do you do? And it's a bit complicated. I try to. I tried to make this film of these guys who literally go with the camera all around the world, from country to country, finding ways to ending the world. Okay. I don't know, like talking to military experts to. So that was the initial concept. But then, while doing the film, we realized that there are some budgetary limitations. There are some other issues, and then the concept evolved so much to being the final concept ended up being totally different from the initial one. And now when I'm going to shoot more scenes, it's going to be even more crazy. So I don't know, like I have this feeling like people are either going to love it or hate it. This film of mine.
Oh wow.
I think though that's with every movie, people either really like it or really don't like it. I mean, but I think the best thing is being open to people who don't really like it, seeing why, but also really embracing the love that people give it.
Courage. Yeah, courageous.
Yeah. Let's see what will happen. I don't know. Yeah.
We're all looking.
Yeah,
forward.
We will be there.
Yeah,
we will be able to. We will do whatever we can to watch it when it comes out. when it premieres?
Well, or just I don't know, just if you cannot find it anywhere or something like that, send me a message. Maybe I will be able to send you a private screener or something like that.
Okay.
If you maybe
maybe
you also do reviews or something like that.
we would happily do
wow.
reviews. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, this has been such a treat.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Adrian, so much for being on the podcast. This was so much fun. I hope you had a fun time too.
Well, thank you so much as well. Yeah, it was fun for me, like remembering of some of the I went through and and thinking for the future. Whenever I think about my next movie, it's always this combination of both fear and excitement, and it's a very weird sensation.
Yeah.
But definitely excitement as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know our audience is definitely excited to watch your future endeavors and all that. And of course, we'd love to have you back on the podcast at some point, whether it's before your next movie comes out, after, something like that, so we could bring you back on. You could talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
No problem.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. And thank you everyone for watching. Support Adrian on Facebook, Twitter, support his movies, all of that. Support the Three Strangers podcast on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, so we could get even more special guests on. Nick, Bill, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm just excited for the future.
Yeah, we are too. We're excited. We're excited to maybe hear back from you, Adrian, and we hope our listeners enjoyed. This has been a really special episode that we just had today.
Okay,
it's great.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And like we end our podcast, remember, don't talk to strangers. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.